Welcome to the Wednesday Walk.
It's actually the Wednesday Talk.
Yeah. One of our recent videos, somebody asked us, why don't you do a comparison between Thailand and Malaysia?
Well,
Okay.
yeah. So over the past 5 years, we've been traveling full time. We've spent a lot of time in Thailand, in Malaysia. So we're going to put these two countries head to head in a list of 10 things and see who comes out on top.
All right, so the first category is short-term, long-term stays.
Yeah.
Short-term stays, Thailand has recently tightened up their visa on arrival, so you can only stay for 30 days and then you have to extend it another 30. You can apply for a 60-day visa before you go into the country and extend that one another 30 as well to get you up to 90 days. Whereas Malaysia, you can just go for 90 days.
Yeah.
As Canadians, we can. Anyway.
Exactly. Nice.
I would say Malaysia wins on the short term. As far as long term, though, they both have long-term stay options. Again, you get into needing to deposit money. You get into needing, maybe Malaysia now has their My Second Home program where you have to deposit money and you have to buy a property. Long term, it might be less expensive to get set up in Thailand, but short term, it's definitely better in Malaysia.
Yeah, I feel like for Thailand and staying as a retiree in Thailand, even though you have to go through all the paperwork and the bureaucracy, it kind of continues on like every year, and every 90 days you have to report. So it's not like you can set it and forget it, like go through the paperwork once and just be done with it. Whereas in Malaysia, it's kind of that way. Like once you get it all sorted out that you're going to stay, you bought a property or whatever, you don't have to report anything. You don't have to check in. Yep. You kind of just, live. So
Thailand, the process is ongoing.
Yes. So I guess
I mean, if you have the funds to set it up, I think that Malaysia, in my mind, wins that category as far as ease of stay, short term and long term.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you don't mind spending that extra money.
Right. So the next one is driving. And we have driven a lot in both countries. And Jay does all the driving, so you can go ahead and talk about driving.
Mainly only because we drive motorbike and Val doesn't ride. She's a passenger. So road quality can be hit and miss in both when you get out in the countrysides and stuff like that. But in general, I'd say Malaysia has some really nice highways to get around the country. But they are bigger, faster highways. So
that's true. Things
definitely move faster in Malaysia than they do in Thailand. As far as driving, I mean, the behavior is somewhat similar. Motorcycles, lane splitting, all that kind of stuff.
When we were driving in Malaysia, everybody would warn us, be careful on the highways, be careful on the roads.
Malaysians are so friendly, but they're different people behind the wheel.
Yes.
That's what we were told by local people.
Yes, yeah. But I didn't really see much of a difference of like erratic driving from one country to the other.
No, I didn't see anything crazy. But like I said, it seems like now, for comparison purposes, we spent most of our time living in Kuala Lumpur, whereas in Thailand, we're spending most of our time in the Jamtien and Pattaya area. So it's not like a big city compared to a big city.
Right.
But Kuala Lumpur has a lot of crazy, windy on-ramps, off-ramps, lots of highways all over the city to get you around quickly. So like I say, it seems like in that area, you're definitely on a lot faster traveling roads more often, whereas Pattaya, outside of Bangkok area, you're on smaller, more scenic and slower moving roads. I don't mind driving in either. I just feels like the pace is a lot faster when you're in Malaysia.
And some of the infrastructure in Malaysia is like spaghetti roads. Like there are like 5 layers of lanes going in every direction. It is amazing how they've built the infrastructure there. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it can be challenging for direction-wise. I do take a lot of wrong on-ramps or off-ramps when we're in Malaysia, but once you kind of get used to it, it's not too bad.
Even the locals said they build roads all the time and we don't even know where we're going. And sometimes they're not even labeled what they say on Google Maps or GPS or whatever. So it's a bit tricky.
Now, one thing to add to this category, renting a motorbike in Thailand is way easier than it was in Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur, I only found a couple of shops. It was a lot more expensive. And Thailand, I mean, you can rent them anywhere. You can go to the laundromat and rent a scooter. It seems like everybody rents scooters in Thailand. So it's super easy to get a hold of a rental. For longer term, we did buy a bike when we were in Malaysia, and that was a really easy process. We bought it from a dealership. So, I mean, they basically took care of everything. They took us to the license place, put it all in my name. It was really quick and easy, and no problem selling it as well. So, for acquiring a bike, I'd say Thailand might be a little bit easier if you're going to rent. If you're going to buy, I think it's equally easy in both countries.
Yeah, just to give you a little bit of context, we stayed in Malaysia for 6 months, and we traveled from north to south. So we've traveled all over, all the little. We went to every state. For Thailand, we've spent a lot of time in Chiang Mai and the Jomtien Pattaya area, and then we did go south to Phuket and kind of traveled to Koh Sak and things like that. We haven't traveled all over Thailand. Thailand's a lot bigger, obviously. One day we're going to get there. I'm going to go through all 77 provinces, but just to kind of give you some context of where we've been driving and how long we've been driving on the roads. Number 3 category is like weekend getaways. Those are enough to kind of keep you busy. And I feel like, I don't know, it's very close for me because, like I said, we did a lot of driving in both countries, and it just seemed like we could pick a spot an hour away and toot around, and we were always out going and seeing and exploring, which I absolutely loved.
Malaysia is a much smaller country, so you can travel to somewhere more quickly, I guess, more quickly, or not more quickly, but in a shorter period of time. So if you want to just on a Saturday get up and go to the coast from the city, you can do that. You can drive in the other direction if you want to do an overnight trip. Whereas Thailand, things are a lot more spaced out if you want to travel up to Chiang Mai or if you want to travel to different areas. So if you're looking to do things in a shorter period of time, I'd say Malaysia would win this, because if you're staying in KL, you can go up into the mountains from there. You can head to the coast from there. You can get from KL little day trips. You can get to everything. It just takes a little more time to get from Bangkok to down to where you have more scenic, mountains and things like that.
Yeah.
You can always get to the coast because there's the Gulf right there. As far as if you want to drive yourself or ride a motorbike around, I think Weekend Adventures would probably go to Malaysia because it's small enough that you can get somewhere for a couple of days over a weekend. Whereas Thailand, you might want to like fly up to Chiang Mai in the north or fly down south just because it's such a long drive.
And it all depends on the time frame that you have. So if you have time, Thailand is great. But if you're on a short stint of time, Malaysia wins.
Food culture.
Oh boy, food culture. Jeez.
This one's kind of a hot topic for some people.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong in either country.
No.
Really.
There are multiple cultures in Malaysia. You have Chinese, Indian, and Malay. So you're going to get a whole variety of food.
You can go to night markets in both places. You can go to fancy restaurants in both places.
Yep.
The food choices are endless.
The quality of food for me, Thailand wins this category for me.
There's a lot more. It seems like there's a lot more fried food in Malaysia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd almost call this one a Thai because they're both very, very well-known places for food and things like that. So I guess it depends on your taste.
Yeah,
But
I also think night markets in Thailand are one of the best. You can find them everywhere. They're affordable. Yeah, they're awesome.
Okay, number 5, daily convenience. They both offer a lot of convenience. There's no question. Yeah. Either, not just in Bangkok, but even where Pattaya and where we are. Compared to KL, Lazada is like online Amazon, so you can get anything you want delivered that way. But there's all kinds of food delivery and grocery delivery and all that stuff available in both places. The edge that I would give to Malaysia is a lot of the apartment units that they build there. I think they call them Hong Kong style. It's basically built on top of a 2 or 3 level plaza. So a lot of the apartment complexes, you get to have shopping and groceries and different conveniences as far as haircuts and the hair salons and makeup places and Mr. DIYs right in the base of the condo. So we found when we were in Malaysia, you could go days without even having to leave your condo complex because everything is available right downstairs.
Yeah, even doctor's offices, dentists.
Yep.
Is very, very convenient for sure.
Yeah. That being said, I mean, if you've ever been to Thailand, you can't walk more than 50 feet without finding a 7-Eleven. So that's super convenient as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, the malls in Thailand, the malls in Malaysia, both excellent. You're going to find everything you're looking for. I would give the daily convenience edge to Malaysia.
Yeah,
Just
because
because of the apartment complex, the condo complex setup.
yeah, style, depending on where you're staying, obviously.
Right.
Like when we stayed there, just the last time we were there for the 6 months, we stayed in a big high rise, exactly what Jay was talking about. And it was really convenient. It's easy for me just to go downstairs and, go to the grocery store by myself. Yeah, it's
And
very convenient.
that can be especially convenient for people as they get older. If you have any kind of mobility issues and things like that, you really don't have to go very far. I mean, again, Thailand, you can have everything delivered to you, but if you want to, be able to get out and go around and not go too far, having those Hong Kong style apartments with all the conveniences right there, it is definitely convenient.
Number 6 is language barrier. And we did see this in both countries, but for different reasons. I guess when we were in Thailand, we stayed mostly like in touristy areas and didn't really go too far off, like into the backcountry, basically. So they do speak a lot of English in those areas, so we didn't really find it too difficult to communicate. And they're very patient with using Google Translate, and they're very happy to see you wherever you are and help you. And so that was really nice. So I would say it's pretty easy in Thailand, all the places that we've gone. Would you say?
The farther you get away from touristy areas, the less chance that restaurants and things like that people are going to speak English. But it's always been like a matter of, like Val said, either Google Translate or just point out what you want on the menu, and they're all good. Their nonverbal communication is fairly easy there. Malaysia is predominantly English because of, like we said earlier, with the 3 different cultures, they've kind of settled on English language as a majority. But what we found there, the only time we had language barrier issues, there were some restaurants we would go to, or some stores, and the workers were basically foreign workers, whether they're in from wherever. I don't know. I guess we did find a lot of guys from Bangladesh and that they worked in the restaurants, and they didn't speak English. So it wasn't so much the Malaysian people or people that are from Malaysia. Sometimes we found it was more a language barrier from other foreigners. And again, it wasn't as really that inconvenient, but it did pose a problem a couple of times.
Yeah. So I would.
But in general, though, Malaysia, I'd say, is easier. Just that pretty much everywhere you go in Malaysia, they'll speak English in the areas you're going to be.
Yeah. So that's nice. I'd give the edge to Malaysia for sure on
If
that.
you're worried about learning a language, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can learn 2 or 3 languages in Malaysia if you're interested and you're going to be there to do it, but you can get away with English around the country easier. Thailand, the farther you get away from a major area, the less chance they're going to speak English. Number 7, we're going to talk about, and some people have commented that this should be number 1 on everybody's list, but safety and just the general feel when you're there.
Yeah.
So I'll talk safety first of all. Southeast Asia in general, we've had very good experiences with safety. And after our last experiences in South America and then heading into Thailand recently, we were definitely reminded of how safe we feel there.
Yeah.
Just talking with other people, meeting with other nomads and stuff like that. People leave their laptops and their phones and everything on the table while they go to the bathroom at a cafe or at a 7-Eleven. They'll leave stuff out and go, leave it unattended. That kind of thing. There's just a general feeling of safety there.
I agree.
That being said, even when we're out at night, so many Thai people come out in the evenings after it gets dark because it's cooler. So they're out with their families till like 10, 11 o'clock at night on the beaches and that. So there's just families out all night. I can't really say it's a good idea to wander around the cities at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I wouldn't say you want to do that really anywhere in the world.
Right.
But I guess if I was going to wander around a city at 2 in the morning, I'd feel okay doing it in Jomtien and Pattaya, in the area we've been, and most of anywhere we've been in Thailand.
Agree.
Malaysia, we had zero issue as well.
Yeah.
I mean, some of this stems from, in Thailand, I feel it stems from the Buddhist culture. We had no issue in either country. And when we're out on the bike and just going out into the countryside, we'd stop at little restaurants or cafes in the middle of nowhere. They're so welcoming and friendly.
Yeah.
You'd stop for a little coffee shop, and they're like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And we tell them, and they try to like, "Oh no, you guys don't have to pay. You don't have to pay for your coffees or anything." We're like, "No. We insist. It's not anything like that. But they're very welcoming. They're like thankful that you're come to visit and stop
Yeah.
to see them and stuff like that.
Yeah, both cultures are very, very happy, very, welcoming, and want to tell you about their country and welcome us to their country. And I don't know, it's just an overall good feeling when
Yeah.
you're traveling throughout both of them.
Definitely feel very welcome in either one, especially when you're exploring around. If you're
Yep.
popping up somewhere out in the countryside where you wouldn't normally expect to find tourists, they're always curious, like, what are you doing here?
I will say Thailand has more of a party scene than Malaysia.
It would seem, yeah,
feel.
drinking isn't really a thing so much in Malaysia. Yeah, just because a lot of
The religion.
they don't drink and things like that. It's not really a huge deal, but yeah, there's just not a big bar scene, of course, which we don't go to anyways. Wouldn't make a difference.
Right. I mean, you can go
There are
out there.
nightclubs and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But it's not as, I would say, well known or prevalent in Malaysia as it is in Thailand.
So, I mean, again, it's kind of a tie.
Yeah, it's a tie,
you
yeah.
can go to either one. I don't think you're going to have any bad experience meeting people and just getting around and that kind of thing. Like,
It's
yeah.
very, very nice. So moving on to number 8. These are like our hidden costs and cost of living type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jay and I travel, we usually will do a cost of living video to kind of recap the month and how much we spent. So I went back in our videos and I looked, and for Malaysia, one of the months we stayed 6 months, the last time we were there, we spent $2,500 on our monthly budget. And just when we were in Thailand, it was 2,255. So a little bit more in Malaysia, not, enough to like break the bank or anything. So they're definitely affordable. Get basically find whatever you need.
Right. And the only real difference there, I'd say, is that when we were in Malaysia, we were doing like some big road trips, like 10-day road trips, 13-day road
True.
trips.
Yeah.
So I don't think the budget difference really is that big of a deal considering how much traveling around we were doing in Malaysia that we spent that little bit more.
Right.
It's still very affordable to travel around the countries and do stuff.
Right. Right. One thing I will talk about, we just mentioned about drinking. That could be like if you are a social drinker and like to go out to bars and stuff, that could be, it could add up. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah. So I would think because it's a little bit more accessible in Malaysia, if you were to get drinks or buy bottles of alcohol in the store, it's a lot more money. For imports, like it was significantly more.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
Buying alcohol in Malaysia was definitely more expensive than Thailand.
Right. So if you do like to have that occasional drink after dinner or like to socialize and go out, just keep that in mind. It will be more there for sure.
Right. As far as utilities and all that stuff, like our budgets are similar, but I mean the cost of an apartment, they're similar on long-term rentals. Yeah. The cost of utilities is similar.
Yeah.
The only difference, or one difference that I would note, is that I think it's more difficult to find short-term rentals in Malaysia.
That is true.
A lot of them want longer-term leases and that, so you're kind of really pushed towards Airbnb.
Yes, that's true. That's what we found anyway.
Thailand can be a little tricky sometimes finding shorter term rentals, but a lot of times you can find stuff off platforms. But yeah, Malaysia, it was definitely, if you contact any realtors, they wanted like, okay, 6 months, 12 months kind of rent. But yeah, and Airbnb is definitely more expensive, but we're also comparing, we were in KL, so capital city, prices are definitely a bit higher. But as far as long-term rent, I think you can find very similar priced accommodation because our place was around 600 and we were paying right around that. Our place in Malaysia was about 600 a month, and we were paying right around that in Jomtien for 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Plus utilities.
Plus utilities, and we did sign a 6-month lease for the place in Malaysia.
Yeah, I also will say what you get for your money. We just did a video on basically what you get for your money when you are staying. And a lot of the places in Malaysia, the condo complexes, they will have gyms and pools just like they do in Thailand. But I feel like the spaces were bigger. Like we paid the same amount of rent, but we had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo that was like 70-ish square meters.
Yeah, we had a big condo in Malaysia.
Yeah, so that was really nice. It was nice to have that extra space. So I find maybe you would run into that. Like the places in Thailand are smaller.
That's true. Our last trip there to Thailand, it seemed like all the apartments we were looking at were like 32 square meters.
Yeah.
1 bedroom, not a lot of extra space.
Yeah, for some people that's a bit too small. So I totally get that.
And again, we were only looking at the short-term rentals in Thailand, and they definitely cranked the prices up If you want to get a 2-bedroom, it's pretty expensive to get a short-term stay. But
Yeah.
again, on a longer-term stay, you can definitely negotiate a better rate. As far as those kind of hidden costs and comparatively, it's kind of a draw.
Yeah, it's kind of a draw. I mean, I do like that we got a bigger apartment in Malaysia, but did we need it? No. Like, life is pretty much outside when you're in a warm country for 365 days of the year. So we don't really need the space. It was just nice to have the space. So I think it's a draw.
I think it's a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9, let's talk about healthcare.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not talking about costs per se. Everybody is going to have different requirements
Yes,
and things like
exactly.
that when it comes to that, but just the level of healthcare in general, comparatively, hospitals in Thailand, hospitals in Malaysia, both excellent healthcare. There's clinics that you can walk into and be seen right away, get all kinds of tests done right away.
Yeah, dentists, like,
Yeah, extended healthcare as far as
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Dental, eye, you name it. You can walk in somewhere and get help that day, or have your eyes checked that day, whatever
Yeah.
you're looking to do. But and then again, the hospitals themselves, Bangkok General Hospitals and stuff like that. And now our experience, we were in Malaysia, we did get full health assessments done at the Prince Court Hospital. And that's a pretty well-known thing if you've ever looked into healthcare in Malaysia. I'm sure you've seen that. Thailand does offer similar things. You
Yes,
can go
it
into
does.
clinics, you can go into hospitals, and you can have full assessments done there as well. And some of the assessment stuff we saw in Thailand was actually even less expensive. But I mean, it may have been a little less involved. It all depends on the packages that you want to pick
True.
and things like that.
Exactly. Your age and stuff like that.
Both, I don't think anyone will be disappointed in the healthcare they can get in either place.
Yeah, and the hospitals that we've been to in both countries are pristine. Like, they are beautiful buildings. Like, in Malaysia, Princess Court, they have a piano in the corner playing while you're in the lobby, and you can walk in. They have all their doctors on the wall that you can kind of go to the concierge and say, oh, I kind of want to see whoever, and they'll just say, okay, yep, go to the 6th floor or 5th floor, whatever.
And it actually is called the concierge desk in the corner.
Yes.
With all the
Yes.
to direct you. So I mean, and again, that's all specialists. So it's definitely a different experience than we're used to here in the West.
Yeah.
To be able to walk in and just say, "There's, how can we help you?" And say, "I'd like to see this specialist." Okay, go up to the 5th floor and see so and so.
Yeah.
And okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to get a doctor's appointment and then get a referral and then wait for months. It's just walk
Yeah.
in, talk to them about what you need, and make a plan.
Or have them on WhatsApp and chat with them on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the West.
No.
So it's very convenient, and they're both the same in Thailand and in Malaysia. You can contact them through WhatsApp, make your appointments online through WhatsApp, basically have them at your fingertips, which is
Now,
nice.
that being said, I probably would give just the slightest edge to Malaysia because of any experiences I had in Thailand. There was always a little bit of a language barrier. A lot of times, the professional that I spoke to did speak English quite well, but there was always just seemed to be a little bit of language barrier. Not heavy, but it just seemed easier in Malaysia.
Okay.
Number 10.
Weather. Oh man.
One of everybody's favorite.
Yeah. What's the weather like? Yes.
You're gonna
So-
sweat in both. But in Malaysia, I would say on average it rains 13 to 15 days out of every month.
Yeah, I felt like it rained every day. Not for
Yeah.
long. Don't get us wrong.
I'm not just making that up. If you look up stats, it shows like rain 13 to 15 days a month on average throughout the year. Now, I will say it was fairly consistent a lot that we could, each day you could see it between like 4 and 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It would kind of build up through the day, and between 4 and 6 o'clock, you get like a rain shower passing by, and then it would be fine again. And it was interesting that in a high rise, you could actually say, oh, look, it's raining north of us today. And you'd see the clouds go by and it would rain up there, and then it would be south and it would rain there. You don't always get hit, depending on where you are. But if you like to be out and about a lot, you can run into it all the time.
Yes,
we
it
seem to
seems-
run into rain all the time. On a nice sunny
Every
day,
time, yeah.
you'd run into a rain cloud.
Yeah. Every time we got on the motorbike, it seemed like, oh, should we put on our rain gear? Should we not? We got hit with rain
I mean,
all the time.
and it definitely seemed more consistent in Malaysia. We were getting a little tired of the rain. Thailand, you get your different seasons. It's definitely drier
Yes.
different parts of the year. So I would give the weather edge to Thailand for that reason. And also because Malaysia seems to be more humid. Like you can go outside and you can go outside in Thailand and find some shade and maybe it'd be okay. In Malaysia, if it was 100 degrees, it didn't matter where you were. It was humid and you knew it.
Yeah, I think there was only like 1 or 2 days when we were there. We walked out and we're like, oh, I think I feel a cool breeze.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it went away.
Yeah.
So yes, it gets very hot in Malaysia.
I mean,
For sure.
you can kind of, do what the locals do and get up in the morning, go out and do your running around and try and, be inside and that and avoid being out at the hottest part of the day.
Yeah.
But I would say the weather is a little more forgiving in Thailand than in Malaysia.
Yes. The good thing is there's aircon everywhere in
true.
both countries. So if you are out in the middle of the day, you can head into the mall or hit a 7-Eleven or whatever and just kind of get that flash of a cool down and you're good to go again.
One big difference between the two countries.
Yes, is burning season. So even though Jay gave a hedge to Thailand, you want to be aware of where you place yourself in Thailand because in the north, between January and April, it's a heavy burning season, heavy haze. People will go south at that time of the year. They just know if they're living in the north, that's where they're headed.
But I mean, with the winds and things like that, other parts of the country are definitely affected. The smoke does get pushed around and stuff like that. So you can have some hazier times for sure. And again, Malaysia doesn't necessarily get as affected by the burning seasons and stuff from the other countries around it, but the humidity does play a factor there. You can definitely feel the humidity, and that for people with any type of breathing problems and things like that, you would notice that. For sure, you definitely got to consider the burning season in northern Thailand, especially.
So those are our 10 things.
I know it doesn't seem very definitive because there isn't really it's always this or it's always Thailand or it's always Malaysia. It really depends on what you're looking for. We enjoy both places.
Yes, we do.
Thailand probably a little bit more. But anytime we decide, hey, we should go to Malaysia, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
We both love it. Every time we go to either country, we love the people. Just the vibe in each country is really nice. The safety is there, and just the ease of living in just period. The ease of living is excellent in both countries.
It's convenient. Honestly, I kind of feel like why choose? They border on each other. Yeah. You can do 3 or 4 months in one, drive across the border and do 3 or 4 months in the other. Yeah. It's really that simple. Like I say, the short-term inconvenience of dealing with visas can be a pain in Thailand, but the high cost of setting up my second home in Malaysia means we'll probably steer more towards Thailand for the longer term with frequent visits to Malaysia.
Yes, exactly. So if you've been to Malaysia or Thailand, what are your breaking points? What do you love? What do you hate? Let us know in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this little comparison of Malaysia and Thailand. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Ciao.